Hello everyone, so I want to talk about the change that YouTube is talking about implementing. And that is disabling the dislike button. As you can see, there's a like button on a YouTube video and a dislike button, and obviously comment, share and things like that. So they want to automatically really just disable now our videos across all the platforms, no matter if it's social media, no matter if it's a news channel or an only channel like myself. You have to disable it, and only you can like the video instead of dislike it. Now there's a few things I could say, but first of all, that's utterly stupid that that they're actually considering this, and they actually probably will put it in. Second of all, a few people ask me why do I think the reason is, and to be totally honest with you, I think it's because it is worldwide. It's not just going to be in Ireland, but the mainstream, particularly mainstream like OT and News Talk, they don't really get too much love in the dislike buttons. You know, there's News Talk videos I've seen 3,000 or 4,000 dislikes, same with OT. But that's on the pure propaganda things where they just spin everything just to try and, again, it's utter garbage that they put out OT and News Talk. Like again, I seen one of News Talk's videos 1.1 thousand dislikes, and only about 38 likes. So obviously people are not agreeing with them. And obviously OT just doesn't like people commenting, and they just disable the comments. Same with the HSE, wonder why. But again, at least in fairness, I give News Talk a bit of credit here. At least they leave the comments open for people to comment and question them. Even though they don't reply or they don't acknowledge it in any sort of way at all. But they only spin the narrative and spin it and keep spinning and spinning and spinning and ignoring any feedback. Just having it there just for the sake of just saying we have it there. You can give your opinion. But I understand, and I will say this, but I do think it should be left. But to a certain degree, I think there should be a way you can ask YouTube. Again for smaller content creators, I have seen small content creators, young children, for example, things like that, have been just been blasted off YouTube by people just hating on them for different things. And that's obviously not fair. That's really, really obviously not fair. We have to be agree. You're entitled to say, I don't like something and X, Y, and Z. There's people often said that to me on YouTube, and I got a huge amount of dislikes in some videos, and I didn't care because I said what I had to say, and that's as simple as that. And I still stand by it, and I won't. And I refuse to take down any video. I say what I say, and that's the end of it. And it's my opinion. And at the end of the day, it's my opinion. I know some people have different opinions. That's totally fine. If people dislike it because they have different views, and that's their opinion. They have the right to disagree with me. It's not like whatever I say goes. People can disagree. It's a democracy. Above all else, it's democracy. You're entitled to disagree with me. If you agree with me, you agree with me. If you don't, again, that's what democracy is all about: discussion. It's saying, actually, we could do it this way. Different views, putting in different points. Again, that's what democracy is all about: getting people's different views and working at a common goal to try and get the best solution. But again, this country, democracy doesn't make sense, doesn't exist in this country beyond now. But I do think it's a bad thing. I think smaller YouTubes maybe could have had access to it, but I don't think places like the News Talk and YouTube and things like that, I don't think they should. And again, because of the political channels, the mainstream political channels, that they get so much hate in the comments, which is fair because to be honest with the majority of the hate, they're spinning stuff and they're trying to make the government look great, and they're trying to spread some narrative that makes no sense whatsoever. But you look at, more power to them, I suppose. They talk shy, let them talk shy, to be totally honest. But again, this is the thing. I say it's because too the White House, particularly the Brandon administration, took over in the White House. The dislike rating in the White House YouTube channel. I've seen videos that had about 100 likes to maybe 2,000 dislikes. And then the Christmas ad too, the Tesco's Christmas ad, where they're trying to promote the vaccine pass, but in the Christmas ad, above all else, the Christmas ad, which had nothing to do with anything. But again, 22,000 people, actually probably more, 24,000, say 26,000 dislikes to about 2,000 likes. Whoever likes that, to be totally honest, I have to ask you just this question. I know you're entitled to like whatever you want, but really, in a Christmas ad showing because again, that was the main set really of quarantine and vaccine passports. That was what they were trying to drive. It wasn't about celebrating the Christmas with family. Low prices. We're poor consumer. At Christmas time, we want to save as much money in your back pocket for Christmas for your children and things like that. We're helping the poor. We're helping the needy. Nothing like that. Just vaccine passports and quarantine. Nothing like that. Again, I would have give my hats off to Tesco if they said, for every time somebody spends money on food or whatever, buys certain food, we give money to charity to feed the homeless or to feed the needy, the people who are poor and who can't afford, maybe parents that can't afford to buy toys for their children at Christmas, and Tesco buys them toys and lets them give to their children. Again, that would be a nice thing to do, but Tesco just proper government propaganda, because they can afford to do it if they wish to do it, and it would be a very genuine thing. I'm sure you would agree at Christmas time to do that. But again, Tesco doesn't believe in that. But anyway, but you know what I'm saying? It is, in a way, in some regards, it's okay. But again, and as somebody said, Mark Dice, I think, it's American YouTube, he's an American YouTuber. He said, again, people usually look at the dislike button and look at the likes to see, like, take for example, there's a YouTuber I watch, well, I don't watch, I actually see him because he's a clickbait, and I'm not going to say the word, but sure, look at, he's a clickbaiter, and let's put it that way, and he clickbaits about everything under the sun, and his name's Mr. Boss for the win, and he's just purely out to use his fan base, use his young children that you watch him to gain money, and obviously ads and X, Y, and Z, and ad watch time and things like that, and obviously misleading thumbnails and X, Y, and Z. It can go forward and can go on, but you can really tell by looking at if they turn to his, like, take for example the dislikes on his channel, because the majority of the time it's very negative, dislikes, compared to, like, sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's negative, depends, but again, with vast majority of people dislike. So yeah, and just something else Mark Dice did say, which I do agree that they probably will do this. Like, take for example in the comments, you can like a comment, and obviously the more likes it gets, the more it can be seen up in the top. They probably will disable that, and I do agree with Mark Dice on that. I do think they will do that, because obviously the comments that are on News Talk and things like that, and on the mainstream media news channels, they're not. Let's put this way, they're not agreeing with them. It's not agreeing with what they're saying. It's kind of asking questions, challenging the authority, if you may use that. And these get thousands upon thousands of likes. And the mainstream media, if they do ever reply to a comment or things, they get about one like, which doesn't look too well on them. But yeah, so that's just my opinion. I don't know, maybe some people disagree with me, but again, if somebody is being bullied on YouTube or things like that for no reason, there's some people that just hate on people for hating, because I don't know, it makes them feel better inside them, and that should obviously not be a thing. But again, we can't really disable the dislike button for again, there has to be another workaround too if they want to stop, particularly smaller content creators being harassed. But again, you never know, something could change. Thank you.